59J, Neck on 9. Let's go. Yeah.
I'm sideways in a bucket ducking 5-0. Homie, are you down the ride? Rim spinning
Hey,
window.
what's good with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day, feeling blessed. And like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. So I made a phone call to somebody who reached out to me, and he wanted to tell me about his particular experience. Well, it's two experiences in one. One from back in the day and one from just recently, and how everything has changed, how everything has transpired, and how it's not the same anymore. And it's a big discouragement to people like him who still try to remain active, who still want to push the agenda, who don't want to make that step, that unnecessary step to go SNY sometimes. And then when you see the difference in this dude's stories, you kind of understand where he's coming from. Let's get into the video. That being said, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, always leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Check the links in the description for my Apple and Spotify music. Go ahead and run my streams up, and you can check out my playlist section on my YouTube channel and check out my music right there. Thank you guys for you guys' time. Most important, thank you guys for you guys' support. So this is a guy who told me he's been to LA County Jail, Wayside, multiple times, on multiple occasions. Back when he was younger, when he was thugging it out, when he was banging for his neighborhood, when he was putting in work on his enemigas. You know, he was always in and out of county jail, looking at his prison terms. But he just recently went back, just for temporary. It was just a temporary little couple of months, different trip. But he hadn't been in the county jail for so long. He's been doing good for a few years, had been out of the prison system for a few years. But, you know, something happened, something occurred, and he didn't tell me what. I didn't ask what. But he went back for a couple months, and he was like, bro, within the 5-year difference, things changed. Things are so different. So, like, first of all, I was like, bro, I've never been to LA's county jail, period. And I wouldn't want to either. So I couldn't really understand. Like, I let him break it down to me. So he basically said the first time he went to county jail was putting in work on his enemigas in Los Angeles. So when he goes to county jail, he does realize that there's somebody there, or a few people are there, as a matter of fact, that are from his neighborhood, and there's a few people there that are enemigas. And you know, down south, Southern California, it doesn't even matter if everybody's Southsiders and everybody's Sureños. They're going to beef with each other like crazy. Kind of different up north when it comes to Northern California, because oftentimes when we all congregate together in one city for one big event, where you from, homie? Where you from? Oh, woo. All right, that's what's up, homie. You may not have to get along with the dude. You may not have to party with the dude, but you know he's a northerner. You see him wearing the red. You see the paño rojo. You see the Mongolian. All right, just let it be. I came over here to party. If things escalate and people get out of control and people start, you know, engaging with one another and things get out of control, then red on red crime does take place. I can honestly say, like, gang neighborhoods and gang wars between northerners isn't as the same. Doesn't resemble nowhere in comparison to what goes on in Southern California amongst their neighborhoods. So he goes into county jail back in the day after putting in work on his enemies. And a big homie introduces himself to him. And I don't mean Mexican Mafia. I mean just mean like an older homie who was in the county for a while, was going to teach him the ropes and how things are going and how things are ran, reglas, the program, the Sureño program. And some dude pulls up to him and tries to shake his hand, but he already knew he was an enemiga. And he pretty much told him, like, forget you. Like, he introduced himself. Dude introduced himself. When he realized that he was an enemy, dude stuck his hand out to shake his hand. He refused it. So a Sureño from Gardena pulled him to the side and taught him different. It's like, hey, bro, like, whatever goes on the streets, that's the streets. That's bullcrap. And here, bro, it doesn't matter that man's status. It doesn't matter his neighborhood. It doesn't matter if you guys had beef from 10 years ago. Let it go. We're all camaradas. We're all Southsiders. We're all part of the same program. You're going to learn to respect him, and he's going to learn to respect you. And this older homie taught him that. At first, he said he was young. He didn't want to accept it, but he's seen homies from his neighborhood kicking it with these dudes. And they weren't enemies like they were on the streets. So he had to adjust his attitude. He had to adjust to the program. And eventually started kicking it with the dude, got to know the dude, and realized, man, that the only difference that they have is that they're from two different neighborhoods that just have this long history of beef. And that's what they're just beefing for. Something that happened back in the day, and they just kept it going for years and years. Something to do when you jump off the front porch and want to gangbang. You just go right into the beef. You don't care what the beef's about. You just want to prove your loyalty to your neighborhood and, you know, down your enemies. He said from that little county jail time and the couple of times he went back before he went to prison, that's what it was like for the Sureños and for the older homies that were Sureños, for the meseros that were running things on behalf of the big homies. Like there was carnalismo, there was camaraderie. They looked at each other as camaradas. Yes, a lot of people have a long history of beef. A lot of people have resentment towards one another. But it was frowned upon for Sureños to fight other Sureños. He said this was back in the day. That you would get really DP'd at Chacala for that. The homies would really put you down for that kind of stuff. They didn't want no camarada. They didn't want no Sureños fighting one another whatsoever over this street stuff. They wanted to be left on the streets because once you hit the county jail, as you know, it's time for preparations to make it to the penal system and start working for the big homies, start doing a Sureño program within the prison system. There's a different agenda once you cross those walls and once you're behind them. So he says it's been a few years. So he finally goes back to Ali County Jail. And the first thing they did was, it wasn't, hey, homie, where you from, homie? Nice to meet you. They like literally, as soon as you walk in, Sureños are right there like, hey, fool, what's up, fool? Where you from, homie? And just banging on you like if you were still on the streets. He goes, when he first got approached, the first time in county jail back in the day and a few times he came afterwards, like the camaradas, the Sureños would really approach you with a different demeanor, a different manner. Hey, fool, where you from, bro? Hey, what's your name? Well, mucho gusto. I'm such and such, Vadio, such and such. Nice to meet you, bro. Hey, we got something for you. We got some, you know, you learn this, learn that. Go answer to him, go talk to him. This is going to be your bunk. These are the rules, program. He said it was calm. It was collective. They were embracing one another. He said now, he's like, man, it's just gangbang central. All they did was take every concept of gangbanging and gang wars from the streets right into Wayside, right into LA County Jail, all the 3 jails. So now you're walking into county jail, Sureño or not. It doesn't matter if that dude's a Sureño, so are you. You got to worry about what his intentions are and what's he going to do to you. How is he going to approach you? How is he going to disrespect you? And he walked up and some dude was like, hey, what's up, fool? Where you from? And banged on him. So what he do? He reacted. He gave the dude the same energy, fed off the same energy and banged on him back. And then he said it kept going no matter where he was going. Nobody even tried to pull him to the side and be like, hey, these are the meseros. This is the rules. Hey, you been here before? Checking the paperwork. Nobody did that to him. That every time he bent the corner and somebody acknowledged that he was new, that he was a fresh face, they were like, what's up, fool? Where you from? And they just immediately start banging their hood on him and he started banging back. And he's like, bro, I couldn't believe it, bro. Like, there was no embracement, no warm embracement by my own Sureños. He goes, and I'm still active. I didn't go SNY. I know the politics. I know the streets. He goes, so I know what's going on, but times have changed. That all these dudes kept doing was banging on him, and he just kept banging back. Like, if this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. He had no other choice. He had to defend himself. He has to defend his neighborhood. And then he said that once he got into the program little by little, like he said, back in the day, they'd be like, hey, bro, you need anything? Here's some toothpaste. Here's a toothbrush. You know, here's some chanclas. Here's some stamps, bro. You know, they would welcome him in with open arms. He said this time, every person that was getting sent by Mesero was like, hey, fool, what you got? Did you bring anything? You sure? You ain't got nothing? That's all they asked him once they started banging on him tough. And he couldn't believe it. Like, it happened to a lot of people in this particular term that he did, a few months he did in county jail. Every person that walked in, Sureños weren't walking up to those doors and those dorms like, hey, bro, go ahead and come on in, bro. You Sureño, you a camarada, you a Southsider? It was like, hey, fool, where you from? Fool, this is fool, and just banged on him. Hey, what you got? Did you bring anything? And if you didn't bring nothing, they just ignored you. They didn't give you no care packages, no soups. Nobody's looking out for coffees. Nobody's trying to escort you to your bunk. Nobody's teaching you nothing. Like the education, the programming itself is not really there like he said it used to be. So I'm listening to this and I'm like, yeah, I understand, bro. Times have really changed. You know, it's all about that sack, man. All these county jail indictments that have been going on with the Mexican mafia should tell you that all they're doing is utilizing these county jails as money makers. It's a cash machine. You coming in with dope, they're taking all that dope. So you're going to go out there, pick up some dope for your big homies, bring it in, risk a big old penitentiary chance. And you're just going to give it all up. And it's going to end up in some different dorm, some different facility. It's going to touch a lot of hands before it gets there. So a lot of people are going to be stealing from their own big homies and get away with it and not say nothing about it. And the big homies is going to get what he gets. And it's just going to feed his veins. And then they're going to keep doing it over and over again. We've all heard about the LA County jails and the hustles that they have, the extortion, the kitty money, everything that they do. They pretty much take from their own. That's it. They're bleeding their own people, their own soldados. And their soldados are just bleeding each other while they're beating up each other. He said this last trip in county jail was a trip. He said basically that if the meseros wanted some money, and they wanted to get high, that they would instigate wars. They would instigate like battle between different neighborhoods because they wanted to see a fight. But they knew if these dudes fight, they can easily tax them, easily find these individuals for money, and then give them a checada just to see more action. And I'm like, for real? He goes, yep, that's exactly how the meseros are working now in the county jail. He said what they would do is they'll make sure this dude and this dude, since their neighborhoods are beefing on the streets and these fools can't stand each other, since everybody in county jail is just banging on each other now, nobody cares about, shaking hands with the next man, eating with the next man, playing chess with the next man. All they're doing is like, hey, where we from? Let's go back there. Let's get down. The meseros want these dudes to really fight. That way they can tax them $500 per individual. Take that money and use that money to buy dope, get high, send some to their old big homies somewhere in the back, lie about it, say, oh, it was only just this much. If no Sureños bringing in dope into the facility, they'll go buy it from other people. He said once he's seen that, and he also gave me another story that I'm going to give you guys on a later basis. He said once he's seen that is when he realized, like, bro, he doesn't want to go through this no more. He never locked it up. He did his county jail time peacefully. He came out, went back to his neighborhood, but he just looked at it. But the way he told me is like, bro, I'm not trying to put myself in a predicament anymore to go back to county jail and end up back in prison because times has changed. When he's watching videos like mine and other YouTube channels that shed light on what's taking place between the North and the South, within the North and the South, what Raza's doing to Raza, what these big homies' true intentions really are, have we been able to reveal their true intentions and what they've been up to and how they've been victimizing their own no matter what, without repercussion, without consequence, without being victims themselves to know what it's really like to be betrayed. These guys are sitting on their high horse, on their thrones, in a cell, all over California prisons, in a cell, allowing a mass majority of the manpower to slaughter each other, still beef with each other, still do drive-bys, still take advantage of each other, still tax each other, still give each other body shots, calentadas or checadas, and stabbing each other left and right, whacking each other, utilizing their names, saying they got the blessings, whether they did it or didn't. Hey, all you gotta do is make sure that big homie's happy, and you'll be okay. As long as he's happy, whatever you do, you can get away with. And then a lot of these meseros only want that power, only want to be in that position. For one, to utilize a big homie's name to get it whatever they want done, even if it's a vendetta against an enemy neighborhood, to whack a bunch of people that they don't like, that did them dirty or did their neighborhood dirty, or make these individuals fight so that way you can tax them for $500, only report $100 of it to your big homie, use the other $400 to feed your veins. That's what his mentality was like. So hearing him on the phone express this, the back in the day difference to the current difference, I do understand, because I also heard something about the Pruno situation, which I got to do a video about, and how the Mexican mafia is taxing Sureños over Pruno. And I was like, man, dude, like anything is just for a come up now. When I was in prison within my Norteño brotherhood, yes, there was dirty politics. There was a lot of scandalous politics. But a majority of the time, man, I looked at my brothers like, man, these are my brothers. Like, I don't want nothing to happen to them. I defended a lot of my brothers, even when the NF wanted us to whack my brothers. I went against the grain, or that filter just mysteriously just went down the toilet. Like, I don't know, I never heard nothing like that. Or I would go up to bat for my brothers, but then there was times where it's like, bro, I don't like this dude. I'm gonna get rid of this dude. And it's kind of easy to get rid of this dude when you got the ear of an NF member that's willing to listen, or that has too much time on his hands, or so preoccupied with fighting his own brothers that he's too busy to acknowledge my kite, my wheeler, so I could just take matters into my own hands. When I went to county jail, once I got fully cleared, the big homies are right there. Since you're an NSOL, you're going to learn this, you're going to learn that, you're going to learn this is what this means. They were grooming me. They were educating me. They were building me up. And for a long time, even though I seen a lot of removals take place, back then I used to believe that they were for real. Like, it was meant to happen. It was supposed to happen. They broke the law. They broke the rules. They knew what they were doing. Codes of conduct that shouldn't be violated, because these codes of conduct build us as men. I lied to myself for a very long time with the belief system that I used to have. You really believe in the doctrines that you're being educated on when it comes to the Norteño program, because you want to stand for something. And it sounds beautiful in writing, but it looks devious and it's deceiving and it's really brutal when you see it done in person. If I was to outline the bonds to you, I can honestly give you a lot of examples of how they're fulfilled. but I can give you a lot more examples of how people got hit and died because they were violated. And that's the cold hard reality about that. But I wanted to share his perspective when it comes to LA County Jail. He gave me a story to tell you guys on a later basis. I got to get that video in place, man. It's a lot of details in that one. So with that being said, like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. Peace.